I go surf. Oh, this is my story. Don't record me talking about cake things. Okay, other than that.
All right.
It was about a year and a half ago, and my cousin called me, and he was like, "Oh, hey, I have these really good tickets for a show, and I got like backstage and everything." I was like, "Okay, cool. What is it?" And he's like, "It's Big Four." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited." For those of you who don't know, the Big Four was a really big show with Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, and Slayer. So I was super excited. I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes!" So it was a couple weeks away, and when the night finally came. Of course, the night before I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. I was like, I only got an hour of sleep, and my cousin had to pick me up. He picked me up at like 4 a.m, and I was so tired. But I was like that tired where I was loopy. So I was so excited. I was like so pumped, and I was like, yeah, we have to go to LA and pick up all his friends. So we drive around and we get all his friends and we get food and we all go. And it was in Coachella Valley, so it's like 3 hours away. So we're driving and we're laughing and we're having a good time. And I was getting sleepy in the car. I was kind of like drowsy because the loopiness had worn off. So we finally get there and they tell us, okay, you have to go to gate 8 to go get all your credentials and stuff. So we drive over, we go to gate 8, and then the guy there is like, okay, well, to get your credentials, you have to come, like, to get through this gate, you have to have the credentials. And we're like, well, they told us we get them here, and they're like, you do, but you need them to get in. So we're like, okay, what do we do then? And they're like, okay, you go to gate 4 or whatever. I don't remember which gate it was. So, but to get to this one, we had to walk there. I wasn't driving. So we parked the car somewhere, and it's mid-July. It's really hot. We're all wearing black jeans, black shirt, and all of us, including the guys, they all had like thick, long black hair. So we're walking, and then we go to gate 4, and then they're like, you go to gate whatever, and we go back and forth. You go here, you go there, you go here, you go there. And we walked for 3 hours. It was so hot. We were all sweaty, and I felt like we were like on like the Peanuts where they walk and they're like this. Like that's how I felt. It was so gross and sweaty. So we finally get there, and we go to the Slayer backstage area, and they have like these really nice couches, and we just like flop, and we're just like relaxing, and they're still setting up the stage, like it's huge. So we're just relaxing, and we get some drinks, and we cool down a bit, and then I run into some of my other cousins, and they're like, oh, well, let's go check out their Anthrax is starting. So we go out into the mosh pit area, and they have the mosh pit area, and then they have the rest of it, like the mosh pit is like for the VIPs. So we go out there, and it's all crazy, but it's still daylight, so it's not that crazy yet. So we just like go back and forth between the mosh pit area and just backstage and hanging out with my family and stuff. So then Slayer comes out, and we're like, oh, okay, well, we're thinking that we want to go on stage to go see Metallica because they're headlining, so it's going to be really big. So we kind of like go and scope out just how we're going to get on and like the area. And we're walking out there, and it's already dark. It's like 11 maybe, and Slayer's playing. And this girl from just the regular audience tried to jump over into the VIP area, and the guards beat her unconscious. They had to call an ambulance, like a helicopter ambulance, because they beat her until she was out. And we're like, oh, maybe we don't want to go on stage. we got really nervous, but then we're like, you know what? Forget it. We're going to do it. Because even if they beat us unconscious, we'll be out. We won't even know. So we're kind of like nervous still, but we have all our stuff, and we go up and we ask them, like, is it okay if we come on stage? And they're like, yeah, you can come on stage. And we're like relieved at that point. We're like, okay, cool, we can go on. So we're on the side of the stage, and Metallica comes out, and it's like everyone's screaming, and you can look out into the audience, and there's like thousands of people, and I can just imagine the rush they get, because just being up there as like an audience member, I felt like there was like adrenaline rushing, and then out of nowhere they have fire. Like the fire shot up from the sides, and we're like right there. So like the fire, you can feel the heat all over your body, and then like the pumping of the bass and the music, and then just looking out into the audience, it was so exciting and so thrilling. And I just went home that night, and I passed out from being tired, but it was one of the most like eventful days of my life. Thank you.